Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind God Updates and God Too, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Homeless man's life changed because of the unconditional love of a dog. Written by Julie Provost. Read by Julie Provost. A homeless man's life changed for the better, all because of the unconditional love of one sweet dog. In Paris, France, a husky's owner, Thibault, narrates how his dog changed someone's life. The video begins with Sora, his dog, running towards a man named Bruno. Thibault states, Sora can tell where Bruno is from hundreds of feet away. We then see Sora waiting by Bruno's tent. The two have a close relationship. How did these two meet? Bruno, a homeless man, has a tent on a street corner. Thibault and Sora were on a walk, and as they walked near Bruno, Sora sat down right in front of him, then jumped into Bruno's arms. After that day, Thibault would bring Bruno coffee and a croissant, chat with him, and ask him if he needed anything. Sometimes he asked for a little bit of money, and I would happily give him some, he said. Thibault started posting videos on TikTok and eventually started a donation page which received over 5,000 euros. He then shared the good news with Bruno, who thanked him profusely. 2 months later, Sora and Thibault were on a walk. They had not seen Bruno for a while, but see him in a sleeping bag on the street. Thibault, I have never had access to the money because I don't have a passport, Bruno tells him. In France, you can't withdraw money without an active passport, even though you can open an account with a photocopy of an old one. So Bruno was never able to access his money. Thibault would help him get a passport. Thibault tells Bruno he can stay with him, but he declines. Thibault gives him a tent. When he returns to tell him the passport is ready, he finds him cold and weak. This time he took him home where it was warm. We then see clips of Bruno at home with Thibault and Sora, enjoying life, playing with Sora with a smile on his face. In the next clip, we see them go to the bank and get the money for Bruno. He will also go buy a phone. I have all the cards to sort out my life, Bruno says. At the end of the video, we see Bruno going to a nice hotel room. New start, he says, with a big smile on his face. Because Bruno smiled and was friendly to Sora, everything got better for him. Thibault comments, my dog and a stranger taught me the biggest life lesson. If not for Sora, I might have walked by Bruno a dozen times without looking at him. Sora's love for a human being changed lives. Drive-Thru employee leaps into action to save a child's life. Written by Adam Staten. Read by Julie Provost. A drive-thru employee, without hesitation, leaps into action to help an unresponsive child. In America, time is money. People are consistently trying to do whatever they can to maximize their time. The more we can accomplish, the better, right? We've even come up with a term defining how individuals do this, multitasking. Fast food consumption is another method of maximizing and making the most of our time. Most Americans visit fast food establishments for a quick bite to eat. However, as a clip posted on social media displays, one woman got more than that when she visited a Taco Bell. Natasha Long was in a drive-thru at Taco Bell in Pennsylvania when she experienced a parent's worst nightmare. Her 11-month-old child stopped breathing and started turning blue. Natasha described her child as lifeless in that moment. However, one Taco Bell employee was placed in the right place at the right time. The location's manager, Becky Arba, said she threw off her headset and ran out to Natasha and the unresponsive child. Becky immediately started doing chest compressions on the infant. Moments later, Becky was able to get the child breathing again. The child was rushed to the hospital and is said to be doing well. Natasha is, of course, eternally grateful for Becky's heroic actions, but Becky said she was just trying to do what she could do to help someone who badly needed it. I just thought of myself as a mom with another mom that needed help, Becky said. Bad things happen in life, and some of them are entirely unavoidable. However, God often places the right people in the correct position at the right time to help us through those trials and hardships. James 2:8. But if you keep the greatest law of all, as it is given in the holy writings, have love for your neighbor as yourself, you do well.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.